Welcome to episode 8 of The Men Are Talking. We're glad you decided to join us this week for our discussion. This week, the guys talk about concerts. Be sure to leave a comment in the comment section about your favorite concert. Let's go ahead and get to it. This is The Men Are Talking. Hello everyone, welcome to this week's episode of The Men Are Talking. Let me first go around and introduce who's here this evening. We're going to start this week, believe it or not, with UPC, who's the same UPC from last week. Don't ask us how it's happened, but apparently we've broken the curse. We're never going to have to find another UPC. He seems to be in great health. He's going to the doctor tomorrow just to make sure everything's okay, and I'm sure everything's going to come back roses.
So exciting.
The copay is a lot cheaper than a prostitute for a digital rectal exam.
Correct. Woo! So say hello.
Greetings. I am the UPC, and I brought my menagerie of frogs with me.
Fantastic.
Let's not do that again. Bill?
Hi, Bill here, and just to let you know, we are not in the Florida Everglades. We just happen to have a very green pool right now because of some pool pump problems this year, and it rained like hell today, and the tree frogs have decided to join us for our show, and there's not a damn thing we can do about it. We record this outside.
That is true. There it
is.
Ferg?
Well, we got frogs, so we got that going for us. And, other than that, what's up, Internet?
All right. And, of course, Paul.
Hello. Welcome to the podcast and the frog chorus.
All right. I'm Larry, in case I didn't say that to begin with. So this week, we are going to discuss concerts. Concerts we've been to. We are doing a very loose idea. We're not doing the first concert you've been to. We're not doing the best concert you've been to. We're doing it's up to each one of us what we want to say about the concert. And this week we are going to actually start off with Paul.
Oh my gosh.
Before we get started, could somebody tell Ferg to quit wrapping the frogs in bacon?
They are delicious. Have you tried
Bacon
one?
covered frog legs?
my
Come
God.
on, people.
Guys, it's my fault. I couldn't get a sitter tonight. I'm sorry. I won't do this.
We
again.
appreciate we all have these problems sometimes. It's fantastic. Well, this is exciting. So I'll try to be brief because probably my best concert experience was actually an all-day affair. Probably my favorite concert experiences because they're near and dear to my heart is I got to see Rush at Red Rocks in Denver, Colorado. If any of you out there have never been to Red Rocks, it's an open-air amphitheater cut into the side of, rocks or mountains.
Sacred Indian ground.
Well, probably.
For the purpose of rock art.
And the beauty of it is because it was created many decades ago, there's a lot of space. So if you're at a concert and people are into it and everybody's standing up, you don't have to say excuse me to anybody to leave your seat and return. If they made it today, it'd probably try to jam 2,000 more people in it, and that's exciting. However, probably my best concert experience ever. I got very lucky. In 1988, this is 3 years removed from the Live Aid concert, which took place in London at Wembley Stadium and then at JFK in America and different places, and it was a telethon and all that kind of stuff. 3 years removed from that, in 1988, at Wembley Stadium, there was a benefit for Nelson Mandela because it was his 70th birthday and he was still in jail. And so this was something that started at 10 in the morning. The last act was supposed to go on at 8, and they went at 9. The first act was Sting. The last act was Dire Straits. When Dire Straits came out, one of the guitar players was at the hospital with his wife who was giving birth. So, they needed a stand-in, so Eric Clapton stood in with Dire Straits. And then in between that was an array of ridiculously great performers and musicians. There were all-star bands. It was mind-blowing how many great performances there were, and people were there for a good cause. And it was quite the experience. Question.
I have a question for you, Paul. Just to clarify, Live Aid, was that the Bob Geldof thing, or was that Band Aid?
Exactly. No, Band Aid was Midge-Ure and a couple of other folk. I'm trying to remember exactly, and they did the benefit record for famine.
Okay.
It was for famine, and then Geldof said, how can we do this more? And Live Aid was his
That's
baby.
Geldof's
Absolutely.
project. That's his
Well
baby.
done.
Band-Aid was the thing that had a
You were
lot
stuck
of
on?
mandolins. In
Right.
call back.
And the American counterpart was We Are the World. Okay, interesting trivia. There was one act that performed on both records. Anyone know?
On both-
Elton John.
On the
Nope.
We Are the World.
Phil Collins.
No.
Hold on.
Performed on the Band-Aid record. You'll never guess. The Band-Aid record and the We Are the World record.
It's probably the least significant on both. And
Well-
my guess is Kim Carnes.
No, but that's not bad. But good vocalist. Kool and the Gang. Several members of Kool and the Gang are on both records.
I love Cool.
Yeah, me
I,
too.
Maybe I was gonna go with Weird Al.
I may have missed it. Which venue were you at?
This was in Wembley Stadium.
Okay.
And there are several Wembley. There's Wembley Arena. There's Wembley Stadium. Wembley Stadium is where Live Aid was, and that's where the Nelson Mandela thing was in '88.
So it's Nelson Mandela.
Correct.
And was this when Joe Biden got arrested for trying to get him out of jail? Or?
Well, this is also, was this back when Nelson Mandela's legacy was beyond reproach?
Yes.
Yes.
This was still at the time. Yes. And Joe Biden, I'm sure, was doing all kinds of protests from his home in Delaware somehow.
The Idi Amin concert, by the way, not so good.
No, not so,
A lot of heads bobbing.
not so good.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Wow.
All right.
But anyway, so that's my.
Oh, that's Alice in Chains open for that.
That's my. I'll add very quickly. There were lots of great acts, but Peter Gabriel very famously wrote a song called Biko, which was featured in the movie Biko, which about Stephen Biko, who was a journalist. Denzel Washington played Biko,
Biko.
and it was a biopic, and Biko, along with at the end of the film, they have a running tally. Biko, along with something like 30 other journalists, were jailed, and out of the 30 that were jailed, the South African government said something like 27 of them committed suicide while in jail.
Oh.
Not so much.
You go out like in a Soviet prison where they commit suicide by 3 shots.
There
to the
you
head?
go, exactly.
Yeah.
And one of the nice things at the Mandela concert is Gabriel sang Biko, and the backing band was most of the band from Simple Minds and a few other people, and the crowd was into it, and he's very electric live, so pretty wonderful. Anyway, big highlight, really great experience.
Awesome. Amazing. So next, I'm going to go ahead and go next. Mostly because, as anyone who is listening to the podcast on the regular knows, I wasn't here last week because I was seeing The Cure in New Orleans. And I will say, this is the second time I've seen them. The first time was 7 years to the day.
Wow.
7 years before, to the day. In New Orleans also, because any chance to go to New Orleans, I go to New Orleans.
Also, nothing good comes here.
And the
Well,
frog stops
not
in
much.
his
Evidently, the frogs are fans of the Cure.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
said New Orleans, and they're
Yeah.
like, oh shit.
Yeah,
You're gonna get
yeah, they have frog legs. So, I will just say that I don't know if it was the most amazing concert I've ever been to, but since it's the most recent, it feels that way. They were on stage for 3.5 hours.
Amazing.
Did 2 full encores. The second encore was as long as the first set.
And wow.
It was nuts. The band that opened for him, Twilight Sad, everyone should check them out. Scottish band. Bunch of young kids doing new wave, and they're amazing.
Exciting.
But going back, I have been to a ton of concerts. I'm just going to hit a couple highlights real quick. Rush with Primus opening was as a bass player.
Battle
Yes.
of the Basses.
Yeah. As a bass player, it was just.
I was there. Yeah.
It was just. That was the night of my grandfather's viewing. He had passed away a week before, and I wasn't going to go. And my mom made me go. I was at the viewing, and she actually called my little brother and said, "Come on, take him. You guys are going to the show."
Wonderful.
And it was an amazing experience. I've seen Nine Inch Nails many times. Tool, Ozzy Osbourne. Man, fucking fantastic show. But I do have to give a shout out to probably a little known band that you've probably heard one of their songs, maybe. But if you ever have the chance to see them live, go. And if anyone else here has seen them, you're going to agree with me. Fucking Cowboy Mouth.
Oh yes.
They put on an amazing live show. If you don't know a song, it doesn't matter. You're gonna have a great time. And
Very entertaining.
just anytime they're anywhere near, I'm like, yep, we're going.
Fabulous.
But yeah. Short and sweet. Didn't want to go on too far.
Can I add a quick note?
Yeah.
Just to the legend of The Cure. The Cure, apparently, I just looked this up. This isn't off the top of my head. The Cure apparently was formed in 78, first record 79, and on the 21st of April, Robert Smith turned 64.
I know.
So here you got a 64-year-old guy out there playing for 3 hours.
Who sounds exactly
Remarkable stuff.
the same as he did in
Remarkable
79.
stuff.
That's remarkably young, though. I mean, he must have been really young, like
Yeah.
18 or something when
Oh,
he
yeah.
started.
Yeah, he was in Menudo.
No, he was. I think he was 19.
Roberto Escobar.
New York to Jackson's
Pretty
5.
impressive.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
Yeah,
it,
it is
and yeah,
Remarkable stuff.
I recorded a couple little clips to send to Paul, and
Impeccable
yeah,
sound.
yeah,
Which we
Just
definitely don't
amazing.
have the rights to post on.
Well,
which we will not be posting tonight, but yeah, amazing.
How about one more fanboy dumb thing? When they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame not that long ago, and Robert Smith's thank you speech, he looks like a humble kid that just won some award in school, about this project he was proud of. But of course, he's been doing music for 45 years. And if you ever want to catch a great performance, watch him talk, watch them perform at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Amazing stuff.
Yeah, definitely check it out because that was incredible. So now we're going to move on to UPC.
All right.
Wait, he just croaked. Sorry.
All right, so Ferg, it's your turn.
In all fairness, that was the frog croaking, not UPC.
I thought it was the
Oh,
show.
see.
I thought it was the show croaking.
The UPC can go after you.
That's when the crickets are going.
Well, I've been to a bunch of concerts and stuff. Well, not a bunch, but a fair amount. And I've been to Lollapalooza in New Orleans.
Yeah.
There's all, the whole mess of people there. I've seen I've seen Rush twice. Once with Primus, the other time with I want to say it was Candlebox opened up for him.
I don't remember that on a tour, but that's
and
possible.
anyway, if you randomly hooked up with some chicks randomly hooked up with some guy at the Florida Pensacola Civic Center during the Rush concert, it wasn't me.
See, that's how I thought you ended up with a daughter.
Not as far as you know.
No. Anywho,
That
those are
That was
names.
it, man.
But when I went and saw Pearl Jam again at the Civic Center,
Oh, sure.
and it wasn't so much of the Well, the show itself was great. I mean, Eddie Vedder climbing up on the speakers and everything, jumping off, and great show. But it's something that most people don't even think of anymore. But we actually camped out, the night before the tickets went on sale.
Yep.
To be able to buy tickets because we knew it was going to sell out so fast, and it sold out within half an hour.
And then you got to the venue at 7 o'clock in the morning because it was general admission.
No,
we
we had floor tickets to see Pearl Jam and everything. So but it was my brother Steve and my roommate at the time Chris. We camped outside. Well, we didn't camp because we brought a cooler full of beer and beach chairs and stuff just to and
camping,
just power drank.
Right, we power drank through the night and then
University Mall.
No, no. We actually went to we went on base to the Ticketmaster on base.
Okay.
And so and then at 6 o'clock in the morning when because the Ticketmaster was right next to the McDonald's, I was like, hey, hold my spot in line. I'm gonna get some egg McMuffins because gotta soak up some of that. But
watch this.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So, it was because you're only allowed to buy 2 tickets.
Right.
So of course the girls all sent us because they're like, well, what if you have to use the bathroom in the middle of the night? And we're guys. We're like, well, we'll find a bush. And,
As a guy, the world is our urinal.
Right, exactly. So, but yeah, it was camping out for the tickets was part of the experience to go to a concert.
For sure.
These days you don't do that anymore.
Obviously, never spent an entire night till 4 or 5 in the morning drinking with European chicks. Because the world is their urinal too.
I have, but I've been to Europe.
Well,
but yeah, so I mean, but the camping out, staying up, you brought board games and stuff to just, I mean. It was
great. But
it was before cell phones. And you just play with your phone all night.
Right? There was no phone.
And nowadays, you just tickets are going on. Tickets are going on sale.
Luxury.
You just pick up your phone, beep, beep, boop. Okay, I got tickets, and you're done.
Yeah.
Except when you don't have tickets.
But,
Right.
As recent developments have occurred.
Is that why the girls you were talking about, they're called European?
I'm a watching and European.
No, and
When they're done, they're a Finnish.
right,
Yeah,
and
they're
they,
like a garbanzo bean.
and of course the scalpers have gotten better. There you go.
Well played.
And of course the scalpers have gotten better, but in the old days, if you did that.
You got arrested.
No, right. And also, though, if you stayed up all night or really early or whatever, you knew you could win. You knew you could get some good seats.
Right. Yeah.
And these days, even if you feel like you're right there when they go on sale, you could be up in the balcony and.
Well, because all the StubHubs and ticket sites have bots that just freaking go through and just buy up the tickets.
There you go.
Speaking of that, going back to Larry and your most recent concert experience,
Explain
what happened there.
Robert Smith versus Ticketmaster.
Nice.
Friggin' basically told Ticketmaster, if you want to sell my tickets, you're not charging any extra bullshit. You're not doing anything. We actually got tickets to see The Cure. The very first show. This is their last tour. It's the very first show of the tour. Paid $21 a ticket.
It was in an arena, right?
Yes. Paid $21 a ticket. We were charged $10 a piece of a convenience fee from Ticketmaster, which a week later was refunded to us because apparently Robert Smith found out they were charging that and was like, no. And fucking got that refunded. So we ended up paying, after taxes, $50 for 2 of us to go see The Cure.
That's
Robert
The last time we went,
Robert
it was
Smith's the goat.
$135
Awesome
a ticket.
motherfucker.
He's the goat.
Yeah. His the new thing he's doing for Ticketmaster that I read the other day online. Actually, Michelle was reading it to me because I can't read. is
Too much
that
guyliner. It
yeah,
kinda
yeah,
heats up your
yeah,
eyeballs.
yeah. I've got a little bit of. She says it's pink eye. I say I just got some of the guy liner in there. But apparently his latest win over Ticketmaster is he got Ticketmaster to cancel all Morrissey concerts so they don't have to return tickets when he doesn't show up.
Oh. As a Morrissey
Very
fan,
nice. Very well played. Very well played. No, honestly, right now when Morrissey listens to this podcast next week or this week or
Oh, we're
whenever
getting
he's gonna-
sued.
No, he's going to say, "Oh, what a brilliant idea."
it would be the first of the gang to die. That's for
Well,
sure.
as somebody once said, isn't it Morrissey that feels more than others?
Morrissey feels more than anyone
There
else.
you go. It's very,
He feels the most.
he's very feeling. By the way, and I don't want to get into off on a rant here, but how is it that I don't know? Pick one: Max Factor, Ultra, Ulta, whatever it's
How come
called.
no one's made something called guyliner?
With Robert Smith on TV putting on the guy liner. I mean, it would be
or
fun
Derek-
and wonderful.
Derek Carr.
Somebody you
We're
figure,
getting sued.
somebody you figure might.
Do you have the time?
Billy,
Oh,
Billy Joe might be all over
yeah,
us. I don't
yeah.
know.
All right. Ferg,
Well,
Where
that's
you
pretty much
going?
all I got. I mean, I've seen some other shows and stuff, but there's some stories I'd rather not share
I gotcha.
because
I gotcha.
Oh,
no, and I really
in case,
love
my,
that
in case my parents are listening.
I-
But
I really love that you
Really?
brought up.
Really?
I do really love that you brought up the getting in line the night before. And
right. I mean,
Right.
you don't do that anymore.
Kids
It's,
nowadays only know that as Black Friday.
I had no idea.
They didn't know you did that for every concert.
which I don't understand why they still do that because
Everything.
Cyber Monday is way easier.
Yeah.
No, there's an advantage to the old system, which is where only the hardest core fans
Right.
are the ones
Right, you actually
lining
got
up.
rewarded.
So, no, but it enhances the experience.
Absolutely.
Whether it's a sporting event like a home football game where you get the most rabid fans
Mhm.
creating that home field advantage
Right.
with the noise and the yelling and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
Or a concert where you get the energy of the audience in the front row and the standing room only area, whatever your general admission area.
I've never gotten
versus
season tickets
a bunch
for
of tickets
a.
being snapped up
for a
by
concert.
Oracle to be given out as fucking stocking stuffers for their big Oracle event
Agreed.
donors or whatever. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Or
100%.
in today's market, you could do what the Florida Panthers of the NHL did in their most recent series against the Toronto Maple Leafs, and they would only sell tickets to people that had a United States address because they didn't want their stadium filled up with Maple Leaf fans,
Interesting.
and so they would not
Very
mail
interesting.
them.
Or Mexicans.
I don't know.
Because that's yeah, but that's another topic.
Because averting the Mexican hockey fan is definitely a goal.
Hey,
Now-
this is DeSantis' Florida.
Oh,
Anything can
wow.
happen. Anything can happen now.
Whoosh.
We didn't.
Anyone need a beer?
I've never stood in line for tickets like that, but what my brother used to do, my brother and I, because I was there, because I had to dial because he couldn't read numbers, but we would call people. My brother had a voice that was very similar to a local DJ in Parkersburg, West Virginia.
Okay.
And he would call up people and tell them that they won tickets to the Rush concert, and all they had to do was be at the station by 5 p.m. that day to claim their tickets.
Wow. Brutal. That is brutal.
That's awesome.
It's like a radio prank.
Yeah.
You know how radio
Yeah.
morning call shows or whatever, they
Yeah.
morning drive time,
Yeah.
they'll do those pranks on,
Yeah.
Oh my
calls
gosh.
shit.
And my brother also
Well,
sounded
I would say
Wolfman
War of
Jack.
the Worlds would be the first radio
Well, no,
prank.
like where they,
Yeah,
you're
but
pranking the radio station by sending a bunch of screaming idiots.
Right, exactly.
And I
Seems
know,
like a WKRP episode,
No, it
actually.
does.
I know my
Chai-
brother's not
Chai
listening.
Rodriguez.
I know my brother's not listening because his wife wouldn't let him.
are we too explicit?
So
Yeah.
sad.
Whip it.
So-
Whip it good.
All right, so moving on, gentlemen. We're going to UPC.
Okay, so I have several
53.
very, very brief ones. This one is comical. It's the first real concert I ever went to. It was around 88, 89 at the latest, and it was MC Hammer. And opening up for MC Hammer was Shanice and Oaktown 357. The whole, even the opening acts were 2 hours late. The entire thing was a debacle. It was ridiculous. It was terrible. MC Hammer, like, clearly was angry because his opening acts were late or something, and like phoned it in. It was a terrible thing. Also, MC Hammer is terrible in retrospect, but I was in, 8th grade.
Okay,
or
you
something
can't touch
like
this.
that.
Still can't
But-
touch this. Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And there, and not being a
Though
fan
he is too legit to quit.
Well-
not being a fan of rock music, this was the first concert in Pensacola that was anywhere close to my wheelhouse, and so that was my first concert that I can recall ever going to.
Understood.
So you
Now-
obviously didn't go to Tone Look and Young MC at the Bayfront.
Hey, don't go busting
Okay.
except a move on Young MC.
Yeah.
I love Young
Sorry,
MC.
I
It was
was
fantastic.
hungover from some funky cool Medina the night before, and I missed the ticket sales.
Gotcha.
But
I'm pretty sure there were still tickets available at the door.
yeah, probably even for the Bayfront.
But I
Yeah.
bet when you were 13, you were a wild thing.
Now, when I'm not a fan of live music.
Nice.
I really don't like concerts because I don't like the crowds, I don't like the noise, I don't like the smell of pot smoke, and I don't like the acoustics of concerts. It's usually shitty.
Well,
You
that's
can't
because you've been
hear
going
it.
to the Civic Center.
So, I did, however, make it a very big point to see Steely Dan in 2000 when they came out with the Two Against Nature album, which is the first album since Gaucho.
Wow.
And 21 years gap, and it was really only their second tour since then. They did one tour in the middle of the, I don't know, late 80s, early 90s or something, but it wasn't to support a new album. So I bought tickets to see them in Tampa. I did the whole thing. This was 2000, so I was able to get like first come first served best tickets. So I was third row center on the floor in front of the stage. And for college,
Wow.
student, that was a good chunk
Oh no,
of change.
that's serious.
About $180 or something.
Yeah.
But it was well worth it. And the other thing is Steely Dan, they give a fuck about the sound quality. So this was at the old Ice Palace in Tampa. I don't know what it's called now. Maybe it's still the same. I don't know. But they basically blocked off 50% of the seats as not available because they wanted their sound to be good.
Wow.
So it was a more intimate concert in a large arena, and they had speakers everywhere. And
Impressive.
The sound quality was amazing. Plus, that album, 21 years after their last album, was just as good. Like, it just followed on from Gaucho.
Wow.
So good. Now, I did see Pink Floyd in 1994 for the Division Bell Tour, and I happened to be in Kansas City. I was there for the National Forensics League Debate National Finals
Do tell.
after graduating high school, so I couldn't get in trouble and lose my diploma or anything. But we knew that we were not going to win or advance to the next round at all because we were doing a cheeky philosophical debate argument with like no files, no boxes of stuff. We were just playing it like.
You are so cool.
Yeah.
Wait, so you guys are just
Edgy.
taking it.
Yeah, we were like done with school and everything. Like we made it to the nationals.
It was a
but
free
we
trip.
didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, you didn't need that for your college transcripts.
No, the fact that we went there is all that mattered. We got tickets to go to this thing. to Pink Floyd, but I was so high, smoked so much weed. I remember it being good,
So just to qualify,
but I don't really remember it.
you don't like the smell of weed if you're not smoking it.
But he loves the taste, apparently.
It's like secondhand stuff.
But totally understood.
But also, I don't like weed at all anymore. But that was.
It's like somebody who smokes cloves.
This is a long time.
Right.
Right.
I mean, who
So
could bear it?
unfortunately, I don't have.
I don't like the
any
smell of
good
cloves,
story
you
about
know?
that concert because I was so completely stoned. I remember it being a wonderful experience, but that was about it. Now, my kind of live music is definitely jazz club stuff. When I lived in New York, Village Vanguard was my place. Seeing top jazz musicians playing in the Village Vanguard, where everyone there knows what the fuck is going on, and they're not talking, they're not being loud, they are letting the jazz play, and they are applauding and cheering after the solo is doing it properly. It's the inverse of assholes who applaud after movements in classical music, which is a no-no, you don't do that. Anyway, and North Sea Jazz Festival, 2006 and 2008 in Rotterdam. Went to those, saw some great stuff, including Bradford Marsalis, who did the entire John Coltrane A Love Supreme suite, non-stop, for about 40-something minutes.
Wow.
Blowing hard. I mean, this guy, seriously,
Yeah.
blowing
No,
hard
serious.
on the tenor sax.
So you love New Orleans?
New Orleans? I'm not a big fanboy of New Orleans.
Yeah, St.
Are you
Louis.
talking
You
Jazz
could-
Fest?
No, I'm talking. You can go to New Orleans and walk down any street, and there will be a club where there will be a jazz group in
Right,
there. And
but I'm talking about like more. I mean, New Orleans, you're definitely gonna get Dixieland jazz, and you're gonna get.
You're talking about smooth jazz.
No, I'm talking about hard bop and stuff like that, where that's more. You're gonna get more in Europe, more in Japan, and more in New York City than you're gonna get anywhere else.
Remind me again.
in the
Where
United States.
was it that jazz was invented?
We've got
there's
Kenny
multiple
G
ones.
on the line.
There are, but none of them are Japan or Europe.
Right, but they're the ones sustaining the good stuff. They're the ones willing to buy albums
Wait,
and willing to
we got Kenny
pay
G's
for
phone number?
concerts.
No.
Anyway.
No, he
Doesn't
called
matter.
in.
Oh, okay.
Call it.
He has our
Um,
number.
Those are
I
friends.
have seen a couple of other random concerts, just mostly as gifts
I'll have my people talk to his.
My significant other at the time, surprising them with a like, hey, we're going to saw Billy Idol at the Hard Rock in Vegas when I lived there.
Great venue.
Oh,
Nice.
and Billy
It
Idol
was an
rocks.
amazing show.
The Joint.
It was an amazing show. The guy still had his chops. This is 2002, so I mean, it's fucking 20 years ago. But
And he could walk again.
and oh yeah, and he was a great performer. His singing voice was still good for his tunes. And Steve Stevens on guitar just completely was shredding it up and having fun. It was a very fun concert. It was all standing room only. Saw Bjork at Madison Square Garden. Now the Bjork part wasn't so great because of some sound issues, and she even restarted the concert. She was upset with it. But the opening act, I recommend to our listeners, a band at the time called Santo Gold. And due to legal reasons, they had change their name to Santigold, which is very unfortunate because their first album is kind of like lost in this weird legal thing where you have to buy like a reprint of it under Santigold, and at that point, like it just people forgot about them. But they were a great opening act. Modest
Excellent.
Mouse at Brooklyn Pool, where what's his face completely was so drunk he fell off.
Yeah,
the
Moss.
pass, but-
I never liked Moss, but Moss
Yeah.
is so full of himself.
Well, you know, if the Pixies aren't touring, listen to Modest Mouse. It's pretty damn close.
Okay.
All right.
There you go. All right.
So
Excellent.
moving on, it is Bill's turn.
Dun dun dun.
All right, so I remember my senior college graduation when I saw the Everly Brothers open up for Buddy Holly. As a child who I've mentioned this before, as a kid who grew up in quite a religious home, didn't really go to a lot of concerts. Didn't go to any concerts, quite frankly.
The Satan's music was not welcome.
No, I think I mentioned one time I bought the We Can't Dance album 3 times, threw it away every time I got convicted about the evils of rock and roll, and just kept buying it.
Not today, Satan.
Yeah.
But tomorrow, I'm spending $12.
And I'm buying a number 2 pencil. Look it up. So, just a couple concerts I went to when my Heidi was out here earlier talking about when I turned 40 is when I did a lot of experiences that I had never done. And the first concert she and I went to
stuff?
No.
Wait, what?
Yeah, she doesn't listen to this, so no,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah, she's not going to hear it.
No.
That's no recollection
Her
of that.
friends will, and
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna pay for that one.
Oh, yeah.
But
Well, you said no.
yeah.
What happens at Trail South makes it to connector.
And Heidi said no means yes, and yes means anal. And
I need a shower.
So anyway, first concert we went to together this is how old the guy was. It was John Mellencamp. It wasn't John Cougar. It wasn't John Cougar Mellencamp. It was John
Well into his career.
Mellencamp.
Well into his career.
It was kind of funny. The one thing that Heidi remembers about that concert is during the middle of his set, he just spit on the floor. And we had really close seats to the stage. She was
Disgusted.
She's a nurse practitioner. She can handle anything but sputum. And that really bothered her.
Which is really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
blood, poop, vomit,
yeah.
no
Not a
problem.
Yeah.
But you spit, and it's like, ooh.
Yeah. But, and Donovan was his halftime show.
Really?
And he came out and sat cross-legged with no shoes on and played Mellow Yellow. And I was
What about
like,
the hurdy-gurdy man?
all I remember is Mellow Yellow.
Quite rightly.
But the 2 concerts that stick out in my mind, and Ferg and I were discussing concert versus event, and we'll probably have time to get into that here in a tad. But the 2 concerts that...
Tad's not showing up tonight.
No, Tad.
Where's Tad?
He's fixing his hair.
He's hanging out with that other boy they're happy we let hang out with.
Tad's at a co-ed mixer.
Yeah, but I went and saw. We went and saw at the. It is called the Bayfront, right? Where Pensacon
No, it's the Civic Center.
Civic
Or
Center.
the Base Center.
Bay Center. We saw Darius Rucker.
Nice.
And I can't. And he put on an amazing show. And this was country.
Right, not
Darius
Rudy.
Rucker.
Sure.
Not
But
Rudy.
the guy that sang before him, and I can't remember his name, country singer, sang a song. My wife's father had recently passed away, and the song "If Heaven Wasn't So Far Away." And I look over at my wife, and it was a Mother's Day gift for her, and
wow.
she's crying.
Oh,
And
fail.
no,
Really?
it wasn't. It
That's
was
success.
it was cathartic.
Well, it could have been a
He
fail.
bought the tickets. He knew what he was getting into.
No, but I will say, Heidi did come out before we started to say that was one of her favorite experiences
Yes.
at a concert.
So later in the concert, when Darius Rucker is singing, he sang the song that I can't even quote the lyrics to. It was the first song that a year and a half ago I danced to with my daughter at her wedding.
That's right, guys. She's taken.
On this, the day of my daughter's wedding. On that, the day of my daughter's wedding.
That's
And
another
it's
story.
Darius Rucker's song. We told that already, I
Yeah.
think. And it's the It Won't Be Like This for Long. And my wife looks over, and I'm crying.
Yes, you are.
But it was a great show.
Pussy.
Great sound. Yeah, I know.
Peter Cetera and Phil Collins were not involved at all in this?
No, and I cried.
Oh, low T?
And one of the last song that he sang,
Not with that hairline.
no, his encore was Purple Rain,
Oh,
and that was really good. And then, Jer, I always give a shout out to you every week, and you need to ask Jared about his experience at Bonnaroo, because Jared and I bonded over Dave Matthews when my son was a teenager,
You are so
17.
white.
You went and saw Bjork. So,
by the way,
I think I win.
By the way, UPC is pouring himself some more cabaret.
Cabernet.
Cabaret.
As he
Yeah.
says that.
I'm not gay.
Well,
It's Giggle
I'm not gay. I'm just
It's
white.
Okay.
Giggle
All right, my turn. So, my son and I, we you know, when you have the teenage danks and dad father thing, we really came together on Dave Matthews. And my son ended up going to Bonnaroo, and I
love
just remember
coming
Dave Matthews played a 4-hour set on Friday night, and my son called me, just tears streaming, and I said, "Are you drunk
this is
or
a
high?"
family of criers.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I said, "Are you drunk or high?" And he just said, "Yes." and that was it. But a few years ago, 5-6 years ago, got to see Dave Matthews in concert at the Bay Center. Look, it was not his A game. They had just got back. Their last concert they had done before they came to Pensacola, population small, was Copenhagen. They had finished their European tour, came to Pensacola, so they hang out a couple of days on the beach, said, "Hey, while we're here, we'll get ready.
Make a few thousand.
Make a few
$100,000.
$100,000." And it was still great. I enjoyed it. It wasn't, like I said, it was their B show. It wasn't their A show. He's an outdoor guy, not an indoor guy. But he still
Yeah, 'cause
did.
with good acoustics, you can hear how bad they are.
Okay, your opinion.
Wow.
But he did, he did some of the classic Satellite Ants Marching, some songs that, Gray Street, which is one of my favorites. And
Gravedigger.
I can't remember, to be honest with you.
Oh.
Heidi wouldn't stop talking. And I was like, look,
I believe
I'm
that.
not here to listen to you. I'm here to listen to Dave.
Yeah, I can listen to you when I get home.
And this was also after the the violinist wasn't with them because of the dirty deeds done dirt cheap that he had done. And so that kind of changed a little bit of what they did. But I got to say, the worst concert I ever went to, and I hate to speak ill of the recent dead, but my wife wrote a letter, and I quote, "Dear Casey Kate," no. She wrote a letter into a easy listening station here in Pensacola, on the Gulf Coast, to try to win tickets to. Oh my God! his name just.
She
went.
wrote a letter when they asked for the fifth caller.
Yeah.
Gordon
Lightfoot, there you go.
Lightfoot, and they called her and said, "Your letter is so awesome, but we just gave out our last pair of tickets." Hour later, they called her back, said, "We got 2 more tickets with backstage passes." Gordon Lightfoot at that point in time, and he just recently passed, he was a great balladeer, but he had a aneurysm and a stroke. And he looked like Willie Nelson on a bad day. And we decided we didn't want to go backstage. That's it. He was done. And I
It
was
would be
like, "You're from
depressing.
Canada. You have health care."
That's right. We're here to see Gordon, not the Crypt Keeper. So
Yeah,
we're gonna
yeah.
stay away.
It was that concert I could compare to the wreck of the Edmund
Oh,
Fitzgerald.
good Lord.
My MC Hammer concert, basically.
Yeah,
Just to
that's it.
just to not only stack on the crying at concerts, but also the fact that my wife also does not listen to our podcast. At the Cure concert, second song starts "Pictures of You."
Oh.
I knew it was pictures of you.
I look over and just tears
Guy
streaming
liner
down,
just running down her face.
and Oh, no, she wasn't wearing any, just me. Yeah, just tears streaming down her face, and she looks over at me with just this biggest smile. And because they didn't play it last time we saw them.
Oh,
It's her favorite Cure song.
yeah.
And it was the second one. I told her, I was like, yeah, it was the second one because Robert Smith was like, Michelle, I'm not going to make you wait. Here you go.
Fabulous.
But yeah, I just looked over and you guys know my wife. She's not a crier.
No.
And
No.
just like I
She's
said,
kind of a dick puncher in a
biggest,
No,
the
she's a
biggest
happy
smile.
person.
She's a huge dick puncher.
Always smiling, always chuckling.
Yeah,
yeah.
laughing.
Sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt.
yeah, but just the biggest smile on her face and tears streaming down.
Yeah, because Michelle's not a
I was
pussy.
like, yeah, she is not.
Wow.
She is not.
I gotta say the one going
There's no
if
crying
we
in
can
concerts.
if we can segue into this a little bit. One of the is that all right?
I don't know. What are you doing?
About the
This
concert.
is why we're supposed to rehearse.
I called
What?
you
Actually,
yesterday.
wait,
Rehearse?
This is
What?
why we don't rehearse.
What's the
Go for
rehearsal?
it.
What I was going to say, Ferg and I were sitting up at the trail the other night.
Rehearsing?
Yes, and we were talking about what do you consider a concert? Do you consider going to vinyl a concert? Do you consider going to see the Molly Ringwalds at Seville? Well, there was
Or
a
jazz
band.
club or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not a big venue.
Yeah,
it's
there was a
small
band
club.
that a friend of mine and I followed around, and I didn't realize we were following them around until I was like, wow, we're following them
Like
around the
Grateful Dead?
southeast. No, it was a band called Rollin' in the Hay. And wait a second.
No, I'm
And-
glad it's not the Grateful
Oh,
Dead.
no,
because
no.
Can we all
No,
agree?
I don't like
We
Grateful
can.
Dead. Yeah.
Fish is way better.
But they used to be called Telluride. The mountain out in
Sure,
Colorado, and they're
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Kia.
they're they're a Birmingham-based band. They play a lot of college venues, but Soul Kitchen in Mobile, 4 and 20 Club in Tuscaloosa, the War Eagle Supper Club in Auburn, War Damn Eagle. Saw them at the Red Snapper down on 30A. Saw them everywhere, and they're mostly a Southern fried rock cover band with a few of their own songs that are really good.
Yeah. You guys were stalking them.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you guys are listening to this and you're still alive, you should get back together and play.
Please.
Hey,
And,
put a
Because
comment.
what the world needs more is Southern rock.
Hey,
Yes,
when you
it
got
does.
Trey, the roadie, on the washboard, you got something.
There you got something. There's no doubt.
hey, if you are still around, add a comment. We'd love to have you guys on the show.
But
Please.
is there a concert that you didn't get to go to that you would like? I would kill to go to that concert.
Yep.
I know
Yep.
exactly.
Yeah. All right. I'll
Mind
start.
if I
Oh,
start
yeah, go
since
ahead.
I'm already yammering?
Yeah. Since you
I've
won't shut
watched
up.
this concert.
Yammer on.
I've watched this concert on
Oh.
YouTube and on my phone. I will go to bed and listen to it. And it's Peter Gabriel's Secret World with Paula Cole. And it is one of the most fucking amazing events. And I didn't realize how old it was until I realized everybody was holding lighters, not cell phone lights. And I was like, wow, when did I miss this?
Was it like 90, 91?
90, I was going to say 92, 90, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Early
It's,
90s.
it's,
Really, holding up lighters.
oh,
It's such a
dude,
fucking
I don't care.
cliche.
It's an, have you seen the concert?
No.
It's an amazing,
You lost me at Paula Cole.
oh, boo.
Yeah.
I didn't
I'm
say
gonna boo
Paula
you on that one.
Poundstone.
I would
I'm
go to
gonna
a
boo
Paula
you on that one.
Poundstone
I didn't
show
say
before I
Paula
go to
Dean.
No, fuck it.
Oh, she'd have bacon.
Ooh, I'm
And
in.
butter.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has bacon cooked in
So,
butter.
Larry,
Oh, it's a
what
bust.
did you miss that you would have wished?
I was actually talking about this earlier with my wife.
My wife.
Anyway, Everyone's slow tonight. But I made a list when I was in high school of bands I wanted to see. And about every 10 years, I redo that list. On that list, there are only 2 bands that I never got a chance to see, that I will probably never get a chance to see. One of them is Suicidal Tendencies, and the other one being Depeche Mode.
Wow.
Suicidal tendencies.
Do you think the best
I
Mode is not gonna
know-
happen again?
Yeah, I know you saw it.
No, well, I know the guitar player.
Do you see them or have them?
No, like he's my cousin was married to.
Wow. Okay then. Well, look, even the
All right.
frog stopped
All right,
talking.
Starfucker.
Wow.
Okay, no. Shut up.
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
Well.
Do you talk to him? Do you see
No.
him at holidays?
No, I met him once.
No.
See, ladies and gentlemen, we don't rehearse.
So apparently he won't be coming on the show.
No.
And won't be getting me into a Suicidal concert if they ever get back together. And
Well, if they ever get back to there and come to Pensacola, yeah, I could probably.
Okay. All right. I'm holding you to that.
Okay.
But Depeche Mode is also currently on their farewell tour, and they unfortunately did not make such a good agreement with Ticketmaster.
Oh, are they in cahoots?
No, they're not in cahoots. They just went with what Ticketmaster normally does.
Okay.
So places like StubHub and shit buy up all the tickets
Yeah.
and sell them for
Third party.
$1,300 a ticket to sit in $48 seats.
I'm glad that you went to the Cure concert and told me about this is their supposed final tour, at least until hell freezes over. Air quotes.
They're not Aussie.
That was Eagles.
Oh, it was Eagles.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm going to make an effort to see both The Cure and Depeche Mode because I missed the Violator tour when they came through here. But at that time, I was young and I didn't have the wherewithal to plan going to a concert like that, you know?
Right.
But the one that I really regret is when I lived in New York, Steely Dan did approximately 7 nights in a row at the Beacon Theater in the Upper West Side, or Midtown, Upper West Side. But it was each night was an entire album, so they went through their entire catalog.
Oh, wow.
One day is Can't Buy a Thrill and all that, going through each album, just playing each album. That was their concert.
Wow.
And I wanted to do all of them. And that if anyone listening has ever lived in New York and paid $2,500 a month before utilities for an apartment, and had a job that paid you more for working more, you understand the dilemma and the difficulty of saying, you know what?
I'm going to a concert for a week straight.
Yeah, I'm going to go to a concert every night for a week straight when my particular job involved 24-hour on-call shifts. And yeah, that I regret not doing that, not committing to that and saying, fuck it, I'm taking PTO for a week.
Right.
Paul, who would you have liked to have seen?
Well, so I'll do these quickly. The one show that I actually had a ticket to, but I was sick with the chicken pox, mind-blowingly, was the...
Were you 10?
How old
Were you shingles
No,
at
no.
your age?
No, I was 16 and a half.
Oh, okay.
Either way, you had
And a half.
Well, okay, well, maybe so.
And all the other 10th graders' moms had a sleepover at his house.
Exhausted.
No, and it was not only was that not pleasant, but I actually had a ticket to the Synchronicity Police Tour.
Oh, damn.
Now, and I would have loved to get to see them live. I know they did a reunion tour, but I actually had a ticket to that. In fact, I still have the unused ticket from '83.
See if you can scalp it.
But the two bands that I've been really lucky to get to see lots of different bands and lots of different acts, but the two groups that I wish I'd been able to see live is the big one is Queen, and that's probably on lots of people's lists. But I just one of the great bands that's really a 4-piece and the 2s and 4s band, but writes great music is oh gosh, how can I not think
You're
of
so
it?
great, you
No,
forgot.
yes, I did.
Wow.
No, I'm thinking of all of their songs right now.
Well,
That
name a
is so-
song.
Yeah.
No,
What do you mean by 2s and 4s?
Dream Police and I Want You to Want Me and
Cheap Trick?
Yeah, Cheap
Cheap
Trick. I
Trick?
can't believe I couldn't think
Saw 'em.
Yep, I
of
saw
song.
him.
Right, that's
Cheap Trick.
fantastic. No,
Jazz
but
Fest,
they're-
Pensacola,
no,
Florida.
Springfest.
Springfest, Pensacola, Florida.
They are an amazing band. Now, I did get to see Rick Nielsen once play the national anthem to open up this music thing, which was really cool. But as far as a 4-piece band that could play the songs live that they wrote and perform them amazingly well and wrote a bunch of good songs, they're one of the best bands ever as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
Very straight ahead, but very amazing.
You have a question?
Yeah, what do you
BBC?
mean by 2s and 4s? A 2s and 4s band. What does that mean?
Sure. So it's very straight ahead rock and roll. They don't do.
You're talking about like the meter or
Yeah.
Okay.
They're just
Talking
it's just-
about dimensional lumber.
Oh
Two
my God.
fours.
No, it's just
Two
very
fours.
no. I mean, it's
Wait.
right.
You guys know what
Believe it
a
or
2
not.
What's
There-
a 2 before?
Believe it or not.
In a way, Cheap
You
Trick.
guys know what's a 2 before?
A 2x4 is a piece of wood that's 1.5
No,
by
it's-
3.5.
It's
It's-
playing the bass notes.
It's just like a sousaphone.
Okay.
That's what's a 2 before.
But in lots of ways, to me, that and I know some of us aren't big Beatles fans, and then the Beatles did a lot of like creative, unusual things too. But the extension from Buddy Holly to the Beatles to other there aren't that many straight ahead. Here are our tunes. They're interesting. That doesn't mean they're sometimes not a little intricate, but they're interesting. They're straightforward. We write them and we can play them.
So
And they've been doing that for
is
45 years, and they're really
Cheap
good at it.
Trick.
Yes, sir.
The song "I Want You to Want Me."
Mm-hmm.
Is that the reason why I hate it? Because it's a 2 and 4 band.
No, it's
kind of
because,
thing?
it's because you hate
Because you have-
math.
It's so
because
simplistic.
you think it's so
and
straight.
mindless.
It's because you have no
That's
taste.
the point. It's not mindless. It's
I hate that song.
it's
I fucking
elegant.
hate that song.
It's elegant.
I hate that song the same way I hate that movie,
It's
the
because-
Tom Hanks movie about the band, the
What?
talent
That thing
guy.
you do?
The Oneaters?
I hate that.
It's
The Oneaters?
I
Now
hate that
yeah.
movie.
now I'm
It's
starting-
I love
what
that
is-
movie.
Now I'm
Again,
starting.
he has no
Okay, but
taste.
now I'm starting to
I
think.
love that movie.
Now
it's
I'm-
boring.
Now I'm starting to think you have no soul.
That movie's
No,
amazing.
it's wonderful.
It's so
Well,
boring.
He's
It's
either a
some-
robot or an alien.
it's
We've
some-
already decided
It's
that.
some guys going for a dream at a time when it was actually possible to have that because of the movement, and they go for it and they get so far, and that's wonderful that they got so far, and then things fall apart. It would be I mean I would like it less if they became Boink, but they don't in the movie.
I agree with you
I
on
think-
that point, which
I-
is if they had success at the end, that would be
Right,
I
but
would've
worse.
that's what they did with music is you had bands. Some things were projects. Some bands were writing their own stuff. They would go and do these tours where everyone played 2 or 3 songs. Boom, 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 done. And that was all promoting it. It was the early time for rock and roll blasting off.
Yeah.
And I mean I think it's pretty well done. You don't have to like it, of course.
No, but
All
the
right.
song
But-
"I Want You to Want Me" reminds me of the movie That Thing You Do.
No.
It's just
I
so
want to-
boring and it's just so bland.
Okay, well, we'll discuss sometime why it's not
Yeah.
bland in the least.
Anyway,
Yeah. So, Fert, any
Yeah.
concerts you wish you'd seen?
Yeah, well, I actually had tickets for it, and it was, growing up in the 70s and 80s and everything, I was a huge Kiss fan as a child.
Who was it?
Exactly, right? I mean,
How many Halloweens were you?
Kiss Army.
oh, yes,
Yeah.
I still got my card. I mean,
Yeah,
that's right.
But, so it was my junior year of high school. My brother and I had, he's a big fan too. We got tickets to go see them, and about 3 weeks before the concert, I blow my knee out in football practice.
Oh.
I have to have knee surgery, and it was serious injury and everything. And so I have the surgery. I'm on crutches. I'm about to, my brother and I are about to leave the house to go to the concert, and my mom's looking at me like, "Where the hell do you think you're going?" I'm going to the concert, Mom. She's like, "No, you're not. I'm not letting you out with thousands of people while you're on crutches, and you just, So my brother goes, "All right, cool. Fuck off, pal. I'm out." And,
Hey, let me get that ticket.
right, exactly.
I know a cute girl who wants to go.
He called Chris,
Oh. Okay.
phoned him, and hey, you want to go?
And your mom kicked the crutches out from you like a true Jersey mom.
Exactly.
Like, you're not going anywhere.
My mom's from Birmingham, so, anyway. But
Honey,
yeah,
you're not going anywhere.
right.
But
Anyway, and I'm sitting there and yes, I was gonna be that guy. I had like my Kiss T-shirt on and everything.
Sure.
And,
Of course.
and
You never wear the shirt of the band you're going to see.
yeah, don't be that guy. Nobody likes that guy.
Yeah, nobody likes that guy.
In,
But
in 2004, I wore my 1984 Rush shirt to a Rush concert because I got a Rush concert shirt in 1984, and it was 20 years later.
So you were that guy.
If you
that's
don't
a
like
little
it, you can
different.
bite me.
It's not
if
different.
it's a 20-year-old
first of all,
shirt,
if you can still fit in it, that's a good thing.
Damn straight.
Second of all, you took care of it.
Damn
you didn't
straight.
wear it everywhere all the time.
I'm pretty sure it's made of asbestos, and I'm going to die. But I love the shirt.
Well, I went to.
I would like to point out he's not saying he can still fit in it.
Yeah.
I
I went.
84, he could have
Yeah.
put in the 84 shirt.
I went to French Quarter Festival in New Orleans, and
I'd hate for you to do it here.
I bought a French Quarter Festival T-shirt.
It's not a
And
band.
I understand it, but I wore it the next day
Yeah,
to
but
the
that's not a
festival.
band.
But somebody, whoever brought up Cheap Trick, when they played at Springfest,
Yeah.
Yep. So
the year before, or the year after, I may get them mixed up.
Are you
But
talking about the Black Crows?
Black
Is the year
Crows.
after.
Yep.
it was the year after.
And that's
Cheap
terrible.
Trick played,
I believe there were a lot of
and it
blues around that
was a party. They were a headliner. I would consider that a concert, not an event.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, it was the big deal.
Yeah,
The flogging mollies in the middle of one of the intersections, that's an event.
yeah.
These guys did 3, 4, 5 encores, beach volleyball, beach balls being tossed around. The next year, the Black Crows come. They don't sing any of their hits, didn't even do one encore. And it was bleh.
Yeah. And fuck those guys.
and by the way, I did eventually see Kiss later on.
Nice.
But I mean, it was like the one concert that I was like, it
Understood.
was going to be my first time seeing them,
Very disappointing.
and wasn't allowed to go. Thanks, Mom.
Now, I've only been to one Springfest, but can anyone here better, who would be the best to describe to the listener what Springfest was?
They basically fenced off all of downtown and put out stages. Think Lollapalooza, but taking over the entire downtown area.
Not the
Instead
entire
of-
downtown, but
instead
about
of-
4 square blocks.
Yeah.
you know.
Instead of
Very
taking
minor,
over a
not
field or
much
a
smaller than
fairground,
Lollapalooza.
it took over
Yeah.
4 square blocks.
I went to one Springfest, and I don't remember what year. I think it might have been 94, 95, something like that. There was the band that went by all the names. I think at that time they had decided to revert to the name Jefferson Airplane.
Oh, yeah.
They were there. I wasn't interested in them particularly, but Bo Diddley,
Oh,
Yep.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
I
I,
mean-
was there like front row. I mean, this is all standing room.
Yeah.
There's no seats. You're just
Yeah.
in like little areas. And Bo Diddley
It's
just
Bo Diddley.
killed it
Oh my
with his
gosh.
cigar box guitar,
100%.
you know, whatever.
Yep.
And
But-
then in the Sanger Theater, Buckwheat Zydeco
Oh.
was playing, and you could just walk in while they were playing.
Oh, so you're
and,
back to New Orleans.
and they were playing and they were walking and running up and down the aisles,
Sure.
playing their instruments. I don't know how they were mic'd or whatever, but it was great. And you know, you get some guy with a fucking accordion in front of you, and,
Yeah,
and
man.
they're just Buckwheat Zydeco put on a great show.
Going back
Great
to
showmanship.
Going back to what I mentioned earlier about Cowboy Mouth, funny story about Springfest was the first time I saw them. Cowboy Mouth was actually playing before the band I went to that stage to see, which was Violent Femmes, which was phenomenal. But that was how I saw Cowboy Mouth the first time. And I'm just sitting there going, this is great! These guys are amazing! This is so much fun! And just, like I said, I've gone to the beach to see him, I've gone to Vinyl to see him, I've seen him a bunch of other places. Great, great, great.
Can
But-
anyone explain like when Springfest started and ended?
No.
Ended
What
at
year?
around 06.
I mean, it wasn't.
Was it that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
don't
05,
think
04, 06 time
It seemed
frame
like
ish.
it was only about 5
And then
years.
they started that one out at the beach that kind of has.
Hangout, is that what it's called?
No,
That's Orange Beach.
Okay.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
they
that's
they,
where
they
assholes
didn't.
would
They,
go
it was the Luna Fest is what they had out
Yeah,
at the
the
beach.
Luna
Yeah.
That
Now, French Quarter Fest is like 2 weeks before Jazz Fest in New Orleans. And we actually didn't go to New Orleans to French Quarter Fest. We went for a reunion of friends. It just happened to be during that time. And so we were like, well, we're here. What else to do? And you bought a ticket. And, well, actually, no, you didn't buy a ticket. I think they had 14 stages set up around downtown
Wow, that's a lot of
New
stages.
Orleans. A lot. Now, I don't remember any of the band names.
But anything you
It
want.
was free entry. You just could not bring your own alcohol, so you had to buy the $20 souvenir cup if you wanted something to drink. But the one thing I did
Like an NFL
enjoy,
game.
yeah, the one thing I did enjoy, no, they charged. I enjoyed, they had up by the Jazz Music Museum, they had a stage and they had a jazz band. I mean, I'm not talking like slow. I'm talking
Dixieland?
Dixieland.
Yeah,
You know,
Dixieland or
20
It's called
20
trad jazz. Yeah,
yeah,
Dixieland jazz,
20 member band.
clarinet,
It was an ensemble.
banjo as a rhythm instrument.
I don't think they had anything. I think it was all brass.
Okay.
And it was, but I mean I told Heidi and our friend that was with us. I said, you guys go do what you want to do. I'm staying here for the next hour because
this
I
blows.
want. Yeah. It was
Nice.
like standing still
Well
for a
played.
second line.
That's
It's
fantastic.
basically what it was.
That's
Alright.
fantastic.
Guys-
I have one thing that just occurred to me is a secret concert I didn't know I was going to.
All right.
I went
Be
to
quick.
It was
Yeah.
church.
No. Hell House in Gowanus, Brooklyn. It was for a live event for the put on by the creators of Yacht Rock. If you have not seen the YouTube series Yacht Rock, you need to because they're the coiners of the phrase Yacht Rock. It's fucking amazing. Hollywood Steve Huey and J.D. Risner, a lot of special guests, comedians, whatever, playing bit parts or whatever, and they create these fake mockumentary 5-minute episodes about the origin of behind the stories. Anyway, this is a Yacht Rock live event. Yes. Paul.
Thank you. Did you get to say who you didn't? Did everyone get to go on who they didn't see?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Then as soon as you're done, I need to go nuclear for 30 seconds.
Sure. Yeah.
Going nuclear.
This was just what they did is they showed all of the Yacht Rock episodes in order, and it was all just mingling, drinking in this small bar in the middle of nowhere in Brooklyn, Gowanus, which is a fucking shithole area of Brooklyn. Can't get there by train.
Oh, you mean it's Brooklyn?
Can't get there by train.
Was Steely Dan there?
No.
Was,
But then at the end,
was Kenny Rogers or Kenny Loggins there?
at the end, of what they did is they showed all the Yacht Rock episodes to date, and then they showed the next one that was going to be released, like their final one, before anyone on the interwebs got to see it. But then they said, we're going to present to you a special guest, Ambrosia. They brought the band Ambrosia, and they played a 45-minute set of half their hits and half of what they really do, which is prog rock.
Yeah.
And it was insane. It was the original lineup of Ambrosia, and nobody's missing.
They do a great salad too.
And it was insane. And there's like 50 people. 50 people total in this bar.
That's exciting.
And Ambrosia
It's crushing it.
killing it for 45 minutes, and that was insane. I paid $20 for a ticket to this event, and holy shit, we got 45 minutes of Ambrosia.
Well,
That's the people who organized it appreciating their fans. And what they did is they said, you know what, this is going to cost us money. We're going to bring Ambrosia in and pay for them. It was insane.
That's awesome.
That-
Best concert I never knew I was going to.
that is cool.
I have recovered the buttons with plastic. I have taken out the keys. I'm not going nuclear.
What?
I'm all good.
What?
No
Nope,
problem.
nope the frogs.
All right.
Well, I wish.
What are we at?
We're doing good.
Frogs and mosquitoes.
We're at 110.
110. All right. So, quick fire. We're doing a quick fire round, and I'm looking at you, UPC.
What?
Quick fire
Quick.
round.
Quick.
Favorite concert story. And when I say quick, I'm going to start. And if anyone goes longer than me, I'm cutting you off.
Sure.
All right.
You know I'm longer than you.
No.
Cutting it off. I've seen you, Pete.
Cutting it off.
Okay, so I'm circumcised. Don't blame me for that.
Cutting it off. All right. So, mine, I was I was a kid doing whatever jobs I could do, and this particular day, I was scraping popcorn ceilings in a house, and afterwards, I was going to the Nine Inch Nails show at the Bayfront, and I'm wearing all black because, I was going straight from the job site to the concert. So my sister and some of her friends and a few of my friends were meeting me at the show. We go into the show. The helmet opened. Phenomenal.
Nice.
Then Nine Inch Nails starts playing. Jump in the pit. And this story was relayed to me afterwards. My sister said it was always easy to find me because in the pit, whenever I'd hit someone, it was poof. White dust from scraping popcorn ceilings all day. So yeah, I'm smashing around in a mosh pit and just little powder poofs every time I hit somebody. So that's mine, and go.
Okay, so mine is at the University of Florida campus at the UF band shell. It was a tribe called Quest. They were opened by Black Eyed Peas, the real Black Eyed Peas, before Fergie, no offense,
Fuck that chick.
got involved. Before they were a pop bullshit band, these guys were true rappers. Amazing opening act, and then Tribe Called Quest came on. Then they did one tune, and then they said, we're going to bring in a special guest. You haven't seen him for years. And I'm yelling to people, oh my God, it's Jerobi. It's Jerobi. Jerobi was he was the fourth Beatle, I guess, of Tribe Called Quest on their first album, but he chose to voluntarily to leave the band because he didn't think they were going to go anywhere, and he didn't want to be a touring lifestyle. He wanted to just raise a family in Queens. And they brought Jerobi back for this weird tour of college campuses. So I got to see a Tribe Called Quest with all four original members performing, and it's an outdoor concert, but it's very intimate, very fucking cool. And people are like, who's Jerobi? I'm like, you fucking, I almost want to punch him. Like, you don't deserve to be here if you don't know their material. You don't know the fucking band. Like, what the fuck, you know?
Damn it.
But it was exciting. And then 10 seconds later, after I'm yelling to everyone around me, it's gotta be Jerobi, it's Jerobi. And they're like, it's Jerobi.
So what you're saying is it was Jerobi.
It was
It was,
Jerobi.
spoiler alert, Jerobi.
All right. And Bill.
So, the band I mentioned earlier, the cover band, local.
You were crying?
No, I wasn't crying. Rolling in the Hay. One of the first times I saw them was at the Soul Kitchen in Mobile, which is a standing room only type venue. Dollar tall boy PBRs, which now I realize why I don't drink PBR. And
Because you tasted it?
Yeah, we escaped curfew. The city of Pensacola was under a curfew because of this devastating hurricane. We snuck out of town. You're supposed to be home by 10. We're there, me and my buddy. He's drunk. I kind of kept sober-ish because we had to get back, and it's an hour drive. And he had already told me I'm driving back. We went to leave to go get something to eat, and you walk out, and it's 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning, and there's hot dog carts on the street still at 3:30 in the morning. And I had $2 cash because the ATM machines in Pensacola didn't work. And I walked up to the guy and I was like,
It's not because you forgot your PIN number?
No, I was like, what can I get for $2? And he was like, I said, we're refugees from Hurricane Ivan. And he gave me 2 fully loaded hot dogs with everything on them for $1 each. Didn't charge me for any of the extras. And then I spent the next 20 minutes walking around trying to find my buddy Dan, who was passed out, leaning up against a light post. And I gave him his hot dog. He ate it, handed me the keys. We drove. And at 4 in the morning, his wife calls him. And it's like, where are you at? And he goes, oh, yeah, we're still in Mobile. We have, hey, tunnel coming up. And hung up on her like the tunnel cuts your cell phone out, and it doesn't. And instead of taking him home, I brought him to my house. It was quicker. And he passed it on my futon. And his wife didn't know where he was. And she finally called my wife about 11 in the morning. And she says, yeah, your boy's passed out here. And he went to Hooters.
All right, Ferg.
All right, well, obviously, and I'm going to air quote this, not randomly hooking up with some chick in between watching Primus and Rush on the floor of the Pensacola Civic Center.
Never
No,
happened.
never happened.
Never happened.
But the best time ever. At a concert.
Best time
Hey,
Best time never hooking up
I
ever.
have to ask, was there bacon involved?
No.
Not as far as you
But
know.
it would have been better.
Oh, well, makes everything better. This is true.
Well, he slipped his tongue between 2
Well-
strips of meat.
Well, thank you for sticking with the quick.
I
Yes.
tried.
All right, and Paul.
Okay, so I misspoke. I did not wear my Rush concert shirt from 1984 in 2004. I wore it in 2007. 2007 was the first time for any of you. I'm a Rush fanboy. The lead singer and bass player for Rush is Geddy Lee. Some of you know that very well. Some of you may not.
Who?
And
Yeah, I know
exactly.
him from Great White North. But, yeah.
There you
I
go.
know him from Murdoch Mysteries.
There you go, perfect. And that's the first time I got to hang out with Geddy Lee. And before the show, I was there hanging out with him because we had a family friend that knew him, and I had my concert shirt on from '84, and I met him, and my friend said, yeah, he's a big fan. And I said, yeah, this is the shirt from your mini tour when you went down for spring training and then played 3 shows in '84. And he tilted his head down and looked over his sunglasses at me and stuck out his fist to fist bump me for wearing the shirt. And I didn't wash that hand for like, I don't know, like a week, which was
What day
difficult
is
because
it?
it was rough because I'm right-handed. Anyway, but that, and then
UTI.
that experience, and we got to hang out with him at intermission and after the show, and that was ridiculous. I turned into an 11-year-old. It was wonderful.
I'm gonna say that PCU may have just been proven wrong.
TCU.
The movie.
The movie, that's where it comes from. You don't wear the band.
Yeah.
The,
You don't
Well,
wear
I
the
was
shirt.
gonna say- I was
band
going to say,
logo.
I think you got used. The only reason why he brought you backstage is because you were the one who made him look hotter.
Quite
All right.
possibly. Quite
All right.
possibly.
Guys, so the frogs are really starting to piss me off. So we're going to go ahead and call it there. If everyone's cool,
Cool.
we'll give everyone a
Cool.
quick sign off. I'm Larry saying thanks for listening. Be sure to comment. Give us a rating. Tell us what you like. Tell us what
Please.
you don't like.
Please.
Just tell us what you want to see in the future.
Here in the future?
I've
No,
heard it
not
both
here in the
ways.
future.
Okay.
In the future.
In the
Here is
future.
now.
Wait,
The future's the future.
we just missed it?
Just now.
Just now.
Just now.
Somebody
we
killed
just
you.
missed
No.
the future.
No, that was then.
No, wait, but what's that?
Okay.
What's then?
Oh, just
Just
All right. UPC, sign off.
Look, I'm really curious as to why anyone listens to this. I would love to know. Please provide comments and feedback because I don't understand why anyone gives a fuck about any of this.
All right. Well, that's good to know. And sounds like someone might be meeting an accident soon. Bill?
Hey, I'm done.
Oh, you don't have a shout out to give to someone?
I already gave Jer a shout out.
Give him another one.
Jer, coming to see you in June.
I will
I
say.
want deep fried deviled eggs.
I will say he comments on every episode.
Can he deep fried bacon?
I'm sure he can.
Bring some of that back too.
And according to his last comment, this is the greatest podcast that has come out in
Awesome.
the last year.
Awesome.
Ferg?
Well, I don't know why anyone's listening either, and I'm just here to drink beer and make fun of these guys. So,
You're
Yeah.
failing miserably.
Not
Am
with
I?
the beer part.
You are.
no, not the beer.
Oh, yeah. No,
Hey,
you're
come on.
drinking the beer.
How many times have I called Bill a pussy
You're
today?
drinking the beer. Oh, well, true.
When it comes to rehearsal, we actually do, getting back to the rehearsal, we rehearse a lot.
Wait.
It's just the drinking part that we rehearse.
Yeah, well,
True.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Paul?
Well, and I'll make this quick. Bon voyage. And as is apropos, I'm about to garrote UPC.
All right. See you later.
bye.
Adios.
Look, I'm a little drunk, okay?